Doing?
Doing good. Did you enjoy your bye week?
I did, yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if I did anything
Okay.
productive, but yeah, I did. Enjoyed it.
That's great. Okay, we'll go ahead. You can start with an opening statement and then we'll take some questions from the media.
Yeah, game week. I thought I was going to be able to skip this week, but I guess last week was for the bye, and this week I know you guys missed me, so here I'm back again. Excited for this stretch that's coming ahead of us. With this game against TCU and us going out there to Fort Worth. Really excited about the matchup. This is a well-coached team, and you look at it, it's like I really like Sonny Dykes. Sonny and his wife Kate are amazing people and have been really kind to myself and my wife Timberly, and so we've had a lot of interactions with them, and not just in the Big 12, but also with some of the things that we do as coaches with Nike and with Pebble Beach, and so I don't know what that means. That means I'm sorry, guys. Just got all kinds of distract. I look better without the light, so that works. All right, thank you. But I I have a lot of appreciation for what Sonny does as a coach, and I think his wife Kate, they're amazing together, and the things that they do, leading young men, leading programs, and I consider him a friend. So looking forward to the matchup, but have tons of respect for him and his program. This team played for the national championship last year, so they have a lot of guys that have seen success, and they're a really talented team. We're still kind of new into the Big 12, but we're still trying to find our identity, still trying to go through some things, and there's some things that I know that we want to improve on, and that we want to get better. But I really love the effort, the energy from our players. I like the way the culture is going. I love the leadership in our program, and so as we put this thing together, we'll see how the matchup goes up this weekend. But we feel really excited about the opportunities, and we're looking forward to the game this week. I know we're going to be on the road. It's hard to win at home in the Big 12. I know it's even harder to win on the road, but we're seeking our first Big 12 road victory. So hopefully we can get that done against a really talented team. Like I said, we have a lot of respect for them, but we want to give them our best shot. We know we'll get theirs, and we'll just live with the results after that. So I'll take any questions you guys have.
Okay, let's go ahead and go Jared Lloyd.
Kalani, there's history with TCU going back to the 90s and then the 2000s, the old Mountain West days. What's it like to renew that, some of those past, remember some of those past experiences, facing TCU, whether it was BYU or when you were at Utah, and getting this opportunity again?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fun. I know the stadium's changed a little bit since the last time I've been in there, but I think for the fans, it's exciting that we have a little bit of that history there, and it's so cool that we get to go out there and have that experience. I mean, they have a really, really nice fan base. I'm looking forward to being on the road there, and it's tough to go and win these places. So it's because they have great support, and we want to make sure that we show our best, and that's hard to do when you have a passionate fan base that's going to be cheering against you. But hopefully we'll have some fans there too. I know our fans find a way, and so they always make us feel good. But more than anything, I just want to enjoy the environment, and have our fans be able to be in that environment as well. So it's big time football, and really, really excited that we're here and that our fans get to be a part of it.
Great, we'll go Darnell Dixon and then Jason Shepard.
Yeah, Kalani, your offense has been kind of quick strike, big play through most of the first part of the season as an identity. Do you want more long, time-consuming drives, or does it really matter to you as long as you score?
I think scoring is hard to do in the first place. So I don't know if we have the right to dictate how we're going to score. I just like to see more points on the board, and I want to see us utilize and get kind of in a rhythm. I've been mentioning that before. Just get that rhythm of success. That's hard to do when you're going against really good teams, but I think more than anything we can really we should be in really good shape now and not making the same mistakes that we've made in the past. But then that's an excuse for the beginning of the season, but. We've been around each other for a while now. I think it's hard to play clean football, especially when you're shooting yourself in the foot. So for us, I like to we can count on our players, their energy and their effort. I just want to see more success from our offense and defense and special teams. So, and in regards to points, the more points, the better.
Kalani, there are, I guess now reports coming out that Chandler Morris is not going to play and that Hoover will be the starting quarterback. Just your overall thoughts on how that changes, or if it does change, how you approach the offense.
They're going to have a very capable player. I mean, they didn't have, Chandler got hurt last year too, and so they're going to have a capable guy. And the last guy they had that was a backup took them all the way to the championship game. So I'm not worried about who they're going to have back there, because I know that Sonny and his staff they do a great job of preparing the quarterback in every position. For us, we need to make sure that we're on top of everything defensively to handle the best that they got, and that's usually they're going to have a quarterback that's active, that can run, create space with his feet, and can punish you in the run game, but also has the talent to throw the ball. So they're a tough team to defend, and Jay and the staff, they got to be ready for it. So I hope the defense is ready for this matchup.
Your next question will be Mitch Harper and then Kevin Reynolds.
Kalani, along the kind of the health front lines, Ben Bywater said last week in an interview that he expected to play against TCU. Is that your thought as well, that Ben will be back?
We're still evaluating. I think all our players would love to play, but this is the days today and tomorrow. It's hard to play guys that don't practice. So if they're cleared for practice and they're able to do that, go through the right protocols this week, and that's just speaking today, then they'll have a better chance of playing this weekend.
What are your overall thoughts on TCU's personnel? I mean, back in the day when it was in the Mountain West, they leaned heavily defensively and there was a lot of speed. Is that still kind of the characteristics that stand out when you see them on film still?
Oh, yeah, they have tons of speed, and that's at every position. They're big, physical, explosive athletes, and so it's a tough matchup. So we've had an extra week to watch their film and a game now over the weekend, but they're a very talented team, well coached, tons of athleticism and speed, and so we'll have to be ready for that.
Kalani, you mentioned last week that the bye week maybe was a chance for some younger guys or just some position battles to continue to take place, maybe a little bit more than just the grind of the week to week. Do you think there will be any shakeups from any guys who earned more time after last week heading into TCU?
Well, we'll see. I think the earning more time is maybe. I mean, we have an opportunity to see guys prove themselves and understand the scheme. So there's opportunities to do them in different packages. I don't know if we've had a lot of change in the depth chart, but there's guys that may be a 2 on a depth chart that may be starting in a certain package that we have in either offense or defense. So I think from last week we see that we have a lot more players to use, and maybe there's finding ways to utilize all their talents and their strengths to help us in certain situations. I think that definitely has shown up in the last week.
Okay, let's go Jared Lloyd and then Jay Drew.
Kalani, there's definitely a benefit from a bye week, getting some of that health situation, getting some schoolwork done, things like that. But there can be a little bit of a cost. Sometimes teams come out of a bye week not as sharp, maybe lose just a touch of that mental focus or some of that cohesion. What do you do to combat that? Make sure you're as crisp, because you can't afford to need a quarter to get back going against TCU.
Yep, that's a good point. I mean, it's not like we were helping ourselves before by giving up a fumble for a return touchdown, punt return for touchdown, big run for touchdown. So it's not like we didn't have any bias for that. So we definitely know that could happen. And what you battle is guys coming out flat. And I think that happens mostly when you're not physical. We were really physical last week, and that's what we lean heavily on our sports scientists to tell us what we're allowed to do, and everything's detailed and deliberate. So we were able to get some hard work and some good looks at guys, and we're hoping that as we go throughout this week that we'll start off fast right from the beginning. That's the goal. We want to be there, be in a better position, not put ourselves behind in the.
You last week during the bye week, or do you just start afresh today like a normal week?
I think for the staff especially, you look at it, and we can have cut-ups and everything set up for our players. We knew going into it, there's going to be a lot of carryover from what we put in offense, defense, and special teams for what we're going to see throughout the rest of the season. So, we wanted to work on that, and anytime that we want to look at what we self-scout and self-evaluate where we're at and where we can improve, I think that was a good time for us to do that last week, and then also add some things that would carry over. We're still doing our same install. Maybe we've had a little bit more that we've put in from before, but that should be things that we can carry over every week after this.
All right, we'll take some last questions from Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you guys are 129th nationally in rush offense, yet you're 4-1. Do you think this is still like a model that can continue to have success and still win games despite the low output on the ground?
You trying to get me to predict what we're going to finish the year in rushing? I don't know. I think the key for us is take care of the football and score points. And I don't really care what the stats say unless we can get those two things. I want to score points, right? So if that means that we have to do it in a lot of different ways, then fine. If it means that our rushing offense gets better, then great. But I think we are a physical team, so we want to run, but at the same time, we want points on the board. And if it gives us success, that's what we're focused on. But I like to be good at everything. All of us want to be there, Mitch. We want to be great at all what we do, so we're working on that, and we're trying to get better. But at the same time, getting the W is more important than anything. But yeah, I'd like to do it. Say that in a week's time of having a week off, that we've fixed all the issues, and away we go. Let's see what happens this week.
And then last thing for you, Kalani, when you look at the defense, how do you feel that maybe health-wise overall, like the personnel? Do you feel like you got your key players in place and just how they performed thus far, overall scheme-wise with the defense?
Yeah, I think the scheme-wise, I mean, there's not a lot of schemes that I disagree with what Jay did. I think for us is execution and guys doing their jobs, and is it because we have too much defense? I don't know. That's why we looked at last week, trying to evaluate where we're at and trying to improve on the mistakes that we made. Why were they made, and how can we avoid that going into this next week? And so it was really a good time for us to reflect on how we did things as a whole, as a complete team in all three phases, and I think we made some adjustments. How that plays out, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if I can say to you we're going to run for more yards or whatever it is. I just like to see more points on the board, like to see more stops on defense, and like to find ways to take care of the ball so we can win the turnover margin. And then at the same time, I want to find ways to get the win. That's what it's all about for us. And I think the stats and all that stuff will kind of work out in our favor as we keep that focus.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good week.
There you go. All right.
All right, next up we will have Isaiah Banya.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and start with some questions. Let's go ahead, Jared Lloyd.
Isaiah, just asked Kalani this, that bye weeks have some good things and bad things. Obviously, the chance to get healed up a little bit is good, but sometimes teams come out flat after a bye week. How are you guys combating that?
Absolutely. I feel like, first of all, we took a good approach to this bye week, especially because this is the earliest bye week I've ever had in my football career. So it was really cool to, take it the first 5 games just to, obviously get the Kings out, the Russ out, and now we're really back into business, for real this time. So I feel like we did a good job of, taking a step back, kind of just reiterating all the things that we, planned and want to emphasize during fall camp. And, that's the way we're going about throughout this week. So it was a good restart for us.
This is a TCU team that's kind of had some ups and downs, but very dangerous. What do you look at? I imagine you've already kind of taken a glance at what you'll be facing this week. What are you seeing?
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of what their record is, they're still, they were just in the national championship last year, So obviously, we want to come at them as if, like I always say, with every other same mentality that we have with every other team. We're gonna. Obviously, we understand that they are talented. They have some dogs on their team, as so we do. So with that being said, we're just gonna come at it with the same mindset. Try and stay humble and just keep working hard, and the rest will play out.
Okay, we'll have some questions from Sean Walker and then Mitch Harper. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Zaya, kind of a little bit on those same lines, and I don't want to get super specific or super individual, I guess, but obviously TCU had to make that quarterback change over the weekend against Iowa State. It looks like their normal starter is going to be out. Their backup's probably going to start on Saturday. What kind of a wrinkle or a change does that present you guys, maybe preparing for one quarterback to looking at a different quarterback or the potential of a different quarterback, I guess? Absolutely.
Well, for position-wise, especially from a pass rushing standpoint, it kind of changes, what you want to do, where the level of quarterback, where you hit your counter and everything like that, or just the amount of yards that the quarterback drops in his pass, you know what I'm saying? So for position-wise, for me at least, that's what we're going to probably look at a lot more. But, from a defensive standpoint, I feel like, our plan is solid and is great. I feel like we can still work off of what we have. And, yeah, obviously there's going to be some adjustments that we'll make throughout this week, throughout practice and meetings like that. But other than that, we're ready, man. Excited.
Zay, TCU's characteristic about them over the years has always been speed. Do you feel like this defense that you guys have has speed to match up with TCU?
Absolutely. And especially when we look at all the personnel and the way that we match up, I feel like we match up very well, especially towards their offense. And so, when we look at the defensive backs that we have, J-Rob, Eddie, Cam, all those guys, they can hang with anybody in the nation. Naturally believe that. So, with that being said, man, I'm excited to see the way that we match up against them, but it'll be good. Yeah.
What's been your favorite part about playing in this scheme under Jay Hill and K-Pop?
Absolutely. I feel like in a way it's pretty similar to, a lot of defenses that I've played in the past. So it's something that I was really looking forward to coming here because, it's something that I'm familiar with, and plus I feel like pertains a lot to the way that I play football. I like to change it up, from different blitz patterns, like at least for if I'm going to the B gap and somebody's coming outside, just some cool things. We even have like DBs blitzing and cool stuff like that. And so with that being said, it's cool. I feel like it also lets me, drop in coverage, play in different fields of the game, and so it's really cool, and I think it fits well with my play style.
Go ahead, Jay Drew.
Hey, Isaiah, the last time BYU beat TCU, 2007, your coach, K-Pop, had a couple sacks, was named the Mountain West Player of the Week. Has he brought that up at all? Have you talked about that at all, and about what kind of the TCU-BYU rivalry used to be?
Absolutely. Well, K-Pop, he's a pretty humble guy, so he hasn't brought up that part of it, that he got Mountain West of the Week. But, he's definitely explained to us about what kind of challenge it's going to be and what kind of mindset we got to come in the game with. We got to take them as, obviously, to respect them to the max, of course, and, obviously understand the opponent we're playing against. But like I said before, we're just going to come at them with the same mindset that we always do every week. Is come in, work hard, and play our game.
Go ahead, Jared.
I just wanted to ask, you get a chance on a bye week to sometimes watch a little more football than you do on a regular game week when you're focused on your own game. What's it like watching the other teams in the league, seeing the teams you face, the teams you're getting ready for? What's it like, as you prepare for the rest of the Big 12 schedule and kind of see what's happening?
Absolutely. Well, especially over this past weekend, there was a lot of cool things that happened in college football. So, it was awesome to see that. Because usually, we're either doing game prep or, we're playing our games ourselves. So you don't really get to experience the whole weekend of college football. So that was cool. But, from the standpoint of watching the teams that we've played or who we will play, it was really cool to see, what kind of team they are, what kind of talent they bring to the table, the way that they scheme different teams that we've played, especially, it was actually funny because I was sitting there eating dinner watching the Kansas game against UCF, and they ran this one play in the red zone that almost got me when we were playing them. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So it was cool to see, all this stuff that, we've obviously experienced in the past, but it was cool to get an idea of what's next to come,
Hey, awesome. Thank you so much, Isaiah. I appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Absolutely.
You have a great week.
Thank you. You as well.
Crew, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Did you enjoy your bye week?
Yeah, as much as you can. My brother plays at Utah Tech, so I was down in St. George.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, nice little break, but we're ready to get after it.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll just jump into some questions. We'll go ahead and start with Jared Lloyd.
Kalani talked about how physical you guys were during the bye week. He wasn't going to give you a huge break as far as, just relaxing. How big is that as a football player to keep that physicality when you have that off week?
I think the important part of it is never, turning your switch off, if that makes sense. It's it's a bye week, but it's not, the end of the season. It's not, it's good because you get a good chance to recover and kind of reset, but you can't get out of your groove either, especially with the way we've been playing. I feel like we keep getting better each week, that if you really – a bye week can go one of two ways for you. It can either be really beneficial, or if you don't utilize it, or if you overdo it on the bye week, then you're almost taking steps backwards. So I feel like we had a good balance of physicality and recovery.
What steps do you want to see this defense have taken as you take the field this weekend?
Putting a game together, as cliche as that sounds, it's we'll have a good half, we'll have a bad half. We just need to. I think the biggest thing for us is we've shown really good spurts in each game. It's let's not let up. If we're playing well, let's keep playing well. But at the same time, let's not start slow. I think that's the biggest thing is do us for 4 quarters. And I think that's really what we haven't shown yet. I think that's really nothing special. We don't have to do anything other than what we've been doing. We just need to do it for 4 quarters of a game now.
Go ahead, Sean Walker.
Yeah, crew, I'm going to throw the softball out here a little bit because I know you spent some good time down in the DFW, obviously, from your and whatnot. Are you that guy this week who's begging everybody to get some extra tickets to the game or anything like that? Or just how excited are you, I guess, to see the inside of a lot of hotel rooms in a place where you spend a good chunk of your life?
Yeah, I'm excited to go back. I didn't ask for too many tickets. I didn't promise much because I know a lot of people want to go to this game and a lot of families want to be there. So, but there are some people I'm excited to see. I've kind of let them know, hey, don't expect too much from me. I'm here to play football, but hopefully I can see a couple people say hi, and yeah, it'll be nice to be back in Fort Worth and a little bit more relaxed circumstances, I guess you could say. I don't know if it'll be much more relaxed, but just not being a missionary. So if you've done that, you know how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited all in all.
At least you don't have to be out the door by 10 and in the door by 9 this time, right?
Right. Yeah, so that'll be nice to be in that area and not have that on me. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Exactly. From a football perspective, your position group has been, I'll just say it pretty bluntly, hit pretty hard by injuries in the deep room and whatnot. How have you guys just kind of rolled with the punches as well as you have? Because I feel like you've handled it as well as anybody can really expect, when it just feels like kind of one after another, and you were on that list for a brief time, obviously, and then came back. So just how is the group kind of handled all of that that situation?
I mean, I think it's just I think Coach Hill does a good job of preparing everybody. So whether you're starting or whether you're 3 or 4 deep, we're all held to the same standard, and I think that's really what it comes down to is everybody has the same expectation. The standard's the standard. So there's no, okay, well, we expect less out of you because you haven't gotten as many reps. It's like, no, you haven't gotten physical reps, but you better been taking your mental reps. And so I think we have a lot of leaders in the room, and I think that helps too. Tanner Wall's a great leader. Slade, like, there's just a lot of people who, and even like Talon Alfrey, who's been hurt, and Micah Harper, they've been there to kind of coach us up. They've had a little more experience than a couple of the other dudes. So I think that's really what it comes down to. Coach Hill's expectation from us and the leadership in the room has just kind of set the standard. It's like, hey, when your number's called, you got to go and perform. There's no other option. So, and that really comes down to a culture thing and an expectation thing.
Go ahead, Jay Drew.
Hey, crew, how far down the road were you guys preparing for Chandler Morris? Obviously, he got hurt Saturday night, and we'll see a different quarterback. How far did you guys get preparing for him, if at all?
I think we were more preparing for just a scheme and a team and kind of the way they play rather than one individual. So it's unfortunate for him. We haven't talked about it yet, obviously, because it happened Saturday. We haven't had any meetings yet, so I'm sure that'll come up. But it doesn't really change much for us. They could have anybody out there, and we're going to have our game plan and execute it. So hasn't really been too big of a deal for us.
And then I know you grew up kind of, your dad or your grandpa played at BYU. You kind of grew up following BYU. Does the TCU kind of history with BYU, does that resonate with you at all, or is this just kind of another Big 12 game?
Yeah, to be completely honest, I don't know much about the history. I mean, my grandpa went to BYU, but I wouldn't say I was an avid BYU guy growing up, especially once I got to – the older I got, seemed like the less I was a fan of BYU. Kind of funny, it comes full circle, but I honestly couldn't tell you one thing about the history. It's just, I don't want to say it's just another football game but I mean, yeah, it is. It's just, I'm going to go out and try to play my best regardless of whatever the history, and I don't really buy into any of that stuff too much. I just like to play football, so.
Okay, we'll take some last questions from Jared Lloyd.
Just one more from me, crew. Just this weekend, the bye week, you get a chance to enjoy football, watching it a little bit more than you often do on a game week. What does that do for you as a player to just have that opportunity to sit back and maybe watch some games and just remember why you love the game so much?
It gets me a little anxious, to be honest. I love Saturdays. I love having a game. So not having a game, I mean, I went down, like I said, I went down and watched my brother play. He plays down at Utah Tech, and I golfed. I try to take advantage of, like, okay, let's do a little mental reset here, because just sitting and watching football all day just kind of makes me wish we were playing. So, but I think it's good. I think I did a good job of finding that balance between still watching my film, still studying, but also, hey, let's go. Like, you have this Saturday off, take advantage of it. Don't wear yourself out, and just kind of relaxing and getting ready. But yeah, it kind of makes me a little bit antsy, just chomping at the bit, ready to get out there again.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, crew. Thanks for being here.
Perfect. Appreciate you guys.
Have a great week.
You too.
your bye week?
Yeah,
Anything fun this weekend?
yeah, it was good. Nah, I was just watching football games and caught up on some rest. That's pretty much it.
Nice. That's
That
awesome.
that was fun for me. So
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and have some questions from the media. We'll start with Jared Lloyd.
Yeah, and one of the goals after a bye week is to not come out flat. You want to keep that edge. How do you personally try and approach it to make sure you're ready for that next game?
for me personally, it's just about preparing the same way I would as if it was a game week. So kind of not breaking that routine or that habit of, getting myself physically and mentally prepared to play. And even though we didn't have a game last week, it was still, and I was still in that same mindset and that same mentality.
You get an opportunity this week to face TCU, a team that you have some connection there, or at least had an offer there. And what's your thoughts as you get ready to play the Horned Frogs?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's my first time going back home to Texas to play football, especially since I've been in college. So it's a very exciting week for me, and they're a good opponent. I watched them play against Iowa State. They fell short, but they were still good, and still some notable things that they do well on defense.
Let's go Darnell Dixon and then Jay Drew.
Dion, the identity of the offense so far this season has kind of been big strike, quick kind of plays, getting in the end zone quickly. Have you been focusing on trying to get longer drives to chew up the clock a little bit, or does it really matter to you guys as long as you score?
Our biggest focus is, just trying to be more efficient. I feel like that's where our point of emphasis is, and converting on third downs, getting ourselves out of third and long situations, and just efficiently moving the ball down the field. We do a good job of having explosive plays, which is great, but we want to be able to hold the ball longer and chew up a little bit of time on the clock so our defense doesn't have to be on the field as much.
Ian, you mentioned you were from Texas. What is TCU's brand? What do you think of when you think of TCU football?
Notoriously I've always known them as one of the more sleeper programs in Texas, because you got UT, people like to, ride with Baylor a little bit, but I've always seen them as a good program, and I feel like even in the most recent years, even last year, they've kind of changed the face of their program and, their mentality and how, their culture is. So for me, TCU is a school that, is a great opponent. They're competitive. They're going to play fast, and, they're going to play the whole 4 quarters because, even if you saw the 2022 season, they won a lot of games towards the second half of the game. So, I feel like this is a good opponent and a great school.
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, you mentioned that you saw some good things from them defensively. What challenges do they present? What does the offense have to do to be successful this week?
Yeah, they run a unique defense. 3 high safeties, 3 down front. So they got a lot of layers to their defense. I feel like having an odd front, 3 down, creates a lot of wrinkles for the offense. Protection-wise and even blocking some things up in the run game. So, they create a few challenges for us, but one thing I have noticed is they pursue to the ball very well, and they're going to give you everything they have. So.
Okay, we'll have some more questions from Kevin Reynolds and then Sean Walker.
When you were coming out of high school, did you ever visit TCU? And was Sonny an analyst on that staff when you were coming out of high school, or have you ever had an interaction with Sonny Dykes at all?
No, I don't think I have, because when I saw it, TCU was my second offer, so my first Power 5 offer, and that was the first place I visited. And that was when Coach Looper was the running back coach. Sonny hadn't gotten there yet. I don't know if he was an analyst. I don't remember meeting him before, but I do know, I've ran into a couple of past teammates that was at SMU and that encountered him. So.
Go ahead, Sean.
Dion, you teed us up a little bit earlier, and so I just wanted to follow up. You said you watched a lot of football this weekend. College, NFL, whatever it was. What was the game or what was the result that kind of jumped out at you the most where you were like, okay, that just happened?
Yeah, it was definitely the Texas-Oklahoma game. That was a crazy game. I set my alarm to make sure I woke up in time to watch that. I wanted to watch the whole pregame and everything. So that was a game that I was pretty excited about. It was crazy. And I honestly, I feel like we saw some things in that game that, we could take advantage of, and when we play these two opponents down the line. So that was one of my favorite games all day.
I was just going to say, were you watching that game as a Texas football guy? Because I understand Red River is a little bit of a religion down there. So were you watching it with your analyst hat on going, I think I could take advantage of this, I think I could do that?
Yeah, I feel like I was watching from my analyst hat on. I wasn't really rooting for either side. I was just watching just because I know we play both of these opponents, and I was looking for any edge that we could get possibly, just going into those games.
Okay, I think that's all the questions for today, Dion. Thanks for being here.
Cool, thank you.
Good luck this
Thanks, Dion.
weekend.